I know what you are. You should just say it.
But what do you really want me to say?
What's your T-shirt today?
Princess Bride?
It is Princess Bride today.
Ah.
Yeah. I don't think people realize that you guys are looking at a very small laptop.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's true.
Yeah, no, I know the way it is. Listen, I really want to start with congratulations. I thought you both did such a great job with this. But before we jump into it, Will, I'm a huge fan of Last Week Tonight. And you worked on that. I love that show. And you worked on it the first 3 seasons. So what can you reminisce a little bit about what that experience was like? Because it's such a great show.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I was a writer and then editor-in-chief of The Onion for many years. The usual pipeline from The Onion when you leave is to work for a late night, talk show, comedy show, which I have to say, I didn't at the time, and I don't now watch many of them, but I felt like, well, there's the pipeline. I better jump in with everyone else. And so I got to work on that show, which, to its credit, I think is an unusual one of those shows, right? It's just once a week, and it's on HBO, and it's kind of a deep dive into these big topics. I will admit, although it's a good show and I was treated well there, I kind of knew the first week that I was there that, boy, I really want to be writing fictional stories and characters. And I felt a little bit every week like I was back in high school and I had geometry homework. And oh God, writing these things, I did my best in that world. But yeah, I haven't been asked about that in a while. I'm trying to now remember, but yeah.
I mean,
it's a good show,
thank
though,
you
right?
for sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Yorgos, I really, this is probably the most important question I'm going to ask you. It's really hard to make a great movie, and you've made 3 of them in like 3 years. How the F do you keep like doing this in the pace that you're doing it?
Well, I can't keep doing it anymore. That's what we're certain of right now.
It's a big mistake.
It's a big mistake. I think, I need a break. I've said that before in between the other 3, but I'm serious now. You can hold me to it. I'm going to take a little break. It was just like having, like, I decide which film to make every time that a script is ready. So when it is ready, and we've been working something for such a long time, it just feels like a shame to just let it there and wait. So I kind of forced myself almost to try and find the time to do it immediately after I finish something, or, sometimes we shot Kinds of Kindness during a very long period of VFX on Poor Things. So I felt that I needed to do something during that time. And then, Bugonia, I had read, 3 years before, and we worked with Will a little bit on the script. So it felt ready, and, we just, wanted to go out and make it. So, you find the will and the strength, but, at some point it runs out. We're at that point.
No, I understand. It's a recharge. I get it. I'm just saying thank you for your work for the last 3 years. I mean, anyway, so this seems to be the year of VistaVision. Which is awesome. As a cinephile, I love it. But can you sort of talk about why you wanted to do VistaVision, and specifically the Will-Cam 11 camera that you decided to use with Robbie Ryan?
Yeah. Well, VistaVision, we shot Poor Things. We shot a scene in Poor Things on VistaVision. But we loved it, but we didn't shoot more because at the time we could only find, the cameras that are extremely noisy, which are most of the cameras that are working today. So you can't really shoot sync dialogue with those cameras. Well, apparently Paul Thomas Anderson can, because they use those cameras. But anyway, we just loved the look of VistaVision from testing it out on Poor Things, and we just kept thinking about it, every time we made a film with Robbie. And eventually Robbie discovered this camera, the Will Cam, which is, quite quieter than those other cameras. So you could, shoot intimate dialogue scenes in a room with that camera. The only downside is it's huge. So it's a real commitment. But I think, it was worth it. And especially for that film, I think, the larger format, focusing on, those three characters mainly, in enclosed spaces, it kind of gives a larger scale, for them, juxtaposing the claustrophobic, atmosphere. So yeah, it was a commitment which was, worth it. And it's funny that, there's all these filmmakers now that are, trying. I mean, it takes a lot of effort to shoot on VistaVision, but I think it pays off.
It's also another reason to see this in a movie theater, projected, and not at home. But anyway, so I'm always curious how filmmakers and writers decide on what song might be depicted like a featured song in a movie. So Emma sings Chapel Ronan in this film. I'm curious how that came about and why that song.
Well, according to Emily, she came up with the idea. No, she did.
It's a different song on the script.
It was a different song on the script, but when you start actually making the thing, and actors enter into the equation, and building their characters and all that, we started trying to find what would be appropriate for Michelle's character. So I did some research in that area of music, which I sent to Emily, and then she really loved Chapel Ronan's album, and she was listening to it at the time. So she suggested this song. So that's how that one came about. And then there was this other song during the scene where Teddy's trying to figure out the level of royalty of alien that he thinks Michelle characters is, and that was a different song which was tied to some things in the script that kind of changed again as we were making the film. But it was a bit of last minute that I changed that song in the edit, because we kind of kept the original one, but I felt that it didn't have those connotations anymore, so I needed to find something different. Right. So we came up with Green Day for that scene, which was fun and works well, I think.
Yeah, I'm already out of time. I'm just going to say to both of you, seriously, fantastic work, and have a good day speed dating.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.